Today I want to talk about something nobody really warns you about. You're probably learning. You're probably trying to get better. You've been watching tutorials, reading guides, maybe even taking courses. And still, you're stuck. Financially, professionally, emotionally, stuck. And the weird part is, it doesn't feel like you're doing anything wrong. In fact, it feels like you're doing everything right. You're improving yourself. You're getting smarter. You're more capable than you were a year ago. But if you zoom out, nothing's really changed. Same income, same hesitation, same low-level panic that maybe you're just not the kind of person who ever breaks through. And that's the problem. Because some of the skills you're learning, the ones that feel so useful, so responsible, so motivating, are the exact ones keeping you broke. Let me explain. Most people who get stuck in the learning loop are picking up input skills, not output skills. Input skills make you smarter, they make you feel prepared, but they rarely lead to income unless they're paired with a completely different type of ability. You get really good at thinking, you understand frameworks, you can explain concepts better than anyone, but none of that pays, at least, not on its own. And here's where most people get trapped. They confuse personal development with marketable development. They learn to build knowledge, but never offer clarity. They learn how to explain things, but not how to sell, solve, or support real outcomes. So they keep stacking more and more skills, thinking, eventually this will pay off. But all they're doing is perfecting skills that nobody's paying for. And worse, they're avoiding the uncomfortable skills that would actually move the needle. Because those skills, they don't feel good to learn. They don't feel inspiring or deep. They feel clunky, vulnerable, sometimes boring. But they're the ones that turn knowledge into money. We're going to break that down, piece by piece. Because it's not about learning less. It's about learning the right kind of skills at the right stage. So you stop mistaking movement for momentum. Okay, let's break this down. Because honestly, not all skills are created equal, especially when it comes to income. There are certain kinds of skills that just feel incredibly satisfying to learn. They feel deep, they feel important, and they give you this sense that you're really leveling up. But when it comes time to actually turn those skills into real money, yeah, nothing happens. So, why is that? Well, because these are what I call internal loop skills. They improve your thinking, but not your earning. Let me show you what that looks like in the real world. First, there's what I call research mode. You become amazing at understanding things. You know all the tools, all the strategies, all the theories. Honestly, you could probably write an essay about online business models or the creator economy or AI tools. But none of that actually translates to income unless you've built something, sold something, or solved a real problem for someone else. Understanding is not the same as offering. And that's a brutal realization for people who are naturally smart. Because intelligence gives you the illusion of being ready, without ever actually requiring action. Next, there's the self-awareness trap. You start doing a lot of mindset work. You learn about your blocks, your patterns, your limiting beliefs. You become fluent in emotional language. And again, that's valuable. But if you're not pairing it with action, it just becomes a loop. You get better at naming the problem, but not solving it. And over time, self-awareness becomes a shield. It protects you from taking risks because you're still working on yourself. Still healing, still processing, still getting ready. Last, there's creative tinkering. You build systems, you tweak logos, you draft plans, you're busy, but you're not exposed. Because, real exposure means putting something out there and asking, will someone buy this? Will someone pay for this? Will someone respond to this? And honestly, that's where most people stop. They've learned dozens of skills, but none of them are connected to income unless they're paired with execution. And here's what no one really tells you. Learning skills can become a form of avoidance. You keep adding tools to your toolbox because it makes you feel powerful. But if you never build anything with them, you're just carrying around weight. So hey, hit the like button if this is resonating so far. And if you want more videos like this, hit subscribe. Next, we'll talk about how to flip this, how to identify skills that actually create income, and how to start building in a way that leads to real financial motion. Here's where we shift. Because if most people are learning the wrong skills, the kind that keep you stuck in thinking, researching, and tweaking, then what are the right ones? What kind of skills actually move the needle? They're not flashy, they're not trending, and honestly, they're not the ones people brag about on social media, but they work. These are what I call friction removal skills. They don't exist to make you look smart. They exist to solve something someone else is stuck on right now, and that's what people actually pay for. Let's go through a few real examples. First, process clarity. This is the ability to take a messy situation and break it into clean steps. It's not about being a genius, it's about being able to say, here's where you are, here's what's next, let's get you there. If you can do that for someone, whether in their inbox, their website, their client flow, or even their mental load, they will pay you. Because honestly, clarity is rare, and people will always trade money for mental relief. Second, execution support. You don't have to be the best, you just have to be the one who shows up and actually does the thing. That might mean helping a local business set up their online booking. It might mean helping a creator manage their community. It might mean editing videos, formatting email newsletters, or doing customer support. These are not glamorous skills, but they're income connected because they remove friction from someone else's day. Third, translation. Not literal language, but idea translation. Can you take something technical and make it make sense to a non-expert? Can you take an abstract goal and turn it into a daily routine? Can you turn scattered feedback into a simple action plan? That's a monetizable skill because it helps people go from stuck to moving. And here's the twist. Most of these skills don't feel like capital S skills. They feel like common sense. They feel like, doesn't everyone know how to do this? But honestly, they don't, because most people are just overwhelmed. And if you can be the person who clears the fog, takes something off their plate, or moves them one step forward, you can earn. Quietly, reliably, even with a small skill stack. Now let's break this into action. How do you stop learning what feels good and start developing the few boring, useful, quietly powerful skills that actually change your income? Even if you're starting with nothing right now, let's bring this home. If you're watching this, chances are you've already learned a lot. You're not lazy, you're not clueless, you've probably been trying harder than most people even realize. But honestly, the problem isn't your effort, it's the direction of your effort. You've been in learning mode, and learning mode feels safe. It feels like progress. You're growing, gaining knowledge, leveling up. But if that learning isn't being applied toward income-connected outcomes, you're building a castle on sand. So here's how to start shifting. First, ask a different question. Instead of what should I learn next, ask what problem can I help someone solve right now? That one question flips everything, because it moves you out of your own head and into real-world value. You stop building for someday. You start building for today. Second, shorten the gap between learning and action. If you watch a tutorial, try the thing within the hour. If you study a framework, apply it to something real, even if it's your own messy project. If you take a course, Offer a service based on what you learned before the course even ends. Why? Because implementation rewires your brain faster than theory ever will. You stop waiting to be ready. You start gathering proof, and honestly, proof builds confidence way faster than just getting more information. Third, make peace with imperfect usefulness. You don't have to be a master, you just have to be helpful. That's enough. Most income doesn't come from brilliance, it comes from consistency, from clarity, from showing up with something that works well enough to be valuable. And if you keep waiting to be ready, you'll keep learning instead of earning. The shift happens the moment you stop asking, "Is this impressive?" and start asking, "Is this useful?" That's when the money comes in, that's when the momentum builds, and that's when your skill set stops being a library and starts being a lever. If this gave you something to think about, hit the like button. It helps more people see it. And if you want more real, smart, no-fluff videos like this, go ahead and subscribe for new uploads every week. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It's not medical, financial, legal, or lifestyle advice. Always talk to a qualified professional before making changes to your health, finances, or routines. Do your own research before acting on anything in this video. What you're hearing is based on public research and ideas available at the time of publication, and it may change as the world does.